Back in 2008, while residential builders were just watching 55% of their market evaporate literally overnight.
Just completely vanish, yeah.
While that was happening, there was one specific sector of the construction industry that barely even blinked. It only dropped about 7%.
Which is practically a rounding error when the rest of the economy is falling apart.
Exactly. And today, with material prices surging again and the residential market cratering all over again, that same supposedly bulletproof sector isn't just surviving. It's actually projecting a massive $30.7 billion boom for 2026.
Yeah, we are seeing this extreme baseline stability paired with, explosive double-digit growth.
It's wild.
It is. If you look at your construction business, like an investment portfolio of standard residential builds, they're acting a lot like volatile tech stocks right now.
Oh, for sure. High risk.
Right? You ride these incredible highs when the market is hot, but the inevitable dips can absolutely wipe out your cash flow. And your crew, honestly. But healthcare facilities, on the other hand, they function as the ultra-safe treasury bonds of the construction world.
So if you are a construction business owner tuning in today, welcome to your custom deep dive. Our mission today is to thoroughly unpack this $30.7 billion healthcare construction boom.
Because we really need to break down the mechanics of why, pivoting into this sector is the ultimate survival and growth strategy for your business right now.
Exactly. And beyond just the theory, we are handing you a step-by-step playbook on how to actually retool your operations so you can go out and win these lucrative projects.
But before we outline the physical realities of building in this space, we kind of have to look at the macroeconomic pressure cooker that makes this pivot so critical.
The environment outside is incredibly unforgiving right now.
It really is. Moody's is currently putting the odds of a recession at a literal coin toss. 50-50.
Wow. Literally a coin flip.
Yeah. And simultaneously, material prices are up 12.6% annualized. Oil is flirting dangerously close to $100 a barrel. And, the residential construction sector is taking an absolute beating.
Down a brutal 26.3%, right?
Exactly. It's bleeding.
So if your firm is exposed purely to residential or speculative commercial real estate, that risk is just sitting heavy on your ledger every single day.
Keeping you up at night.
Right. But across the aisle, the February 2026 construction starts revealed that healthcare was one of only 3 sectors across the entire industry showing actual sustained growth.
It's the ultimate outlier.
It really is. The projected starts are sitting at that $30.7 billion mark, which is an 11.8% year-over-year jump. And when we look at Smart Business Automator's market intelligence report, the pipeline data tracks this aggressive expansion state by state, project by project.
Which brings up a really vital question, I think.
Yeah, let me ask you that actually. Is this 11.8% growth just some post-pandemic blip? Or is there a structural reason that healthcare just seems to completely ignore the broader economy?
It's a great question. And the answer really comes down to biology, not economics.
Biology.
Yeah, we are currently watching the reality of the silver tsunami just crash into our healthcare system. The baby boomer generation is turning 80 in 2026.
Oh, wow.
Right. It simply does not matter what the stock market is doing or, what the Federal Reserve decides to do with interest rates next week.
Because an 80-year-old requires a hip replacement or specialized memory care, regardless of whether GDP is up or down.
Exactly. This massive demographic wave is driving an urgent, non-negotiable demand for hospital beds, outpatient clinics, senior care.
Built-in demand.
Yep. And crucially, the funding for these projects is heavily insulated from private market cycles.
How so?
Well, Medicare and Medicaid provide this massive, stable floor for baseline healthcare spending. And on top of that, major hospital systems are typically funded through long-term municipal or hospital bonds.
Okay, so they aren't relying on private equity.
Right. They are not dependent on the kind of speculative, high-interest private investment that just immediately dries up the second a recession looms.
And that funding structure totally changes their planning horizon, doesn't it?
Completely. Hospitals use 10 to 20-year community need assessments to map out their builds.
10 to 20 years. Contrast that with speculative commercial real estate developers who will literally pull funding on a massive mixed-use project based on a single quarter's interest rate hike.
Exactly. Healthcare systems are planning for the next 2 decades of regional health. They aren't reacting to the next quarter's earnings report.
So for a contractor, that long-term horizon translates into unparalleled operational stability.
Absolutely. Healthcare clients are notoriously the most reliable payers in the entire construction industry.
I've heard that. Net 30 payment terms are the standard, right?
Net 30 is standard, yeah. And the collections are highly predictable because the capital is already secured. It's ring-fenced in a bond before they even break ground.
And we actually know this benchmarking for payment reliability specifically from Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report. It is hard, verifiable market intelligence.
It's incredible peace of mind.
It is. But knowing the funding is locked in for decades is great in theory. Where is that capital actually landing today? Because when we look at the footprint of these new facilities, they aren't just large buildings anymore.
No, they're functioning like self-sustaining ecosystems.
Yeah. I mean, there were $15 billion healthcare projects announced in 2025 alone, and they all share this narrative of massive community integration.
Grady Health System is a perfect example of this ecosystem approach. They recently broke ground on a $1 billion South Fulton medical campus down near Atlanta.
That's a massive site.
It's huge. It's a 200-bed facility, backed by $300 million in Fulton County bonds. But the scale isn't even the most important part. It's the function. They are specifically building this campus to cure a healthcare desert.
Right, because right now, residents in that specific area are driving 30-plus minutes just to get to an emergency room.
Which is terrifying in an emergency.
Seriously, the CEO of Grady explicitly noted that this project is about health equity. It's infrastructure that actively saves lives.
And because it's a multi-facility campus, it is phased for continuous construction all the way through 2031.
So that is a 6-year runway of guaranteed work for the trades involved.
Guaranteeing your crew's paychecks for 6 years. And we see that same continuous runway when we look at the industrial medical crossover.
Right, like the CSL project.
Exactly. CSL is building a $1.5 billion plasma manufacturing campus expansion in Kankakee, Illinois. That project alone is generating 800 construction jobs during the build phase.
And another 300 permanent jobs after it's done.
Yeah. It has the full endorsement of the governor, the state incentives are completely secured, and it targets operational status by 2031.
And then you look at what Turner Construction is doing with the $900 million Geisinger Hospital in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that one is a beast.
It's an absolute beast. This structure is 11 stories tall, encompasses 600,000 square feet, and requires 3,800 construction jobs.
Unbelievable.
To put that in perspective, that single hospital project uses more steel than the Eiffel Tower.
Wow.
You are practically building a small city. And we also see the defense sector overlapping with this boom. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is executing a $250 million mixed-use defense medical campus in Ohio.
So when you synthesize the scope of, Grady, CSL, Geisinger, and Wright-Patterson, you see a really clear pattern.
Billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars, thousands of jobs, timelines stretching securely into the next decade, and an absolute reliance on specialized infrastructure.
But that brings up a crucial operational reality. These mega projects aren't executed by multinational firms working in a vacuum.
No, not at all.
Turner and Skanska do not self-perform all of this work. They require absolute armies of specialized subcontractors.
They do.
So if you are the owner of a standard commercial building firm listening to this deep dive right now, how do you actually get your crews onto that Geisinger site or into that Grady campus?
Well, transitioning into this space requires a very deliberate 6-step playbook.
Okay, let's walk through it.
Step 1 is the ultimate gatekeeper, get qualified. Healthcare construction requires absolute strict adherence to ICRA.
The infection control risk assessment.
Right. If your firm does not have a deep mechanical understanding of ICRA protocols, your education has to start there today.
Let's actually break down the physical reality of ICRA for a second.
Yeah.
Because dust from drywall on a standard commercial site is just a nuisance that requires a broom.
Yeah, you sweep it up and go home.
Right. But dust on a hospital site is a lethal threat.
Yeah.
To get ICRA required negative pressure, you aren't just taping up some plastic sheeting and sealing the room.
Not even close.
You are installing specialized exhaust fans that constantly pull air out of your workspace and push it through heavy-duty HEPA scrubbers.
Yep.
That means if a seal breaks on your containment wall, the clean hospital air flows into your dusty site, never the other way around. You're actively manipulating the air pressure physics of the building.
And you really have to lean into the gritty operational reality of that for a moment. Put yourself in the shoes of a hospital facility manager.
Oh man, the stress.
It's immense. They have an active intensive care unit full of immunocompromised patients sitting right on the other side of your temporary drywall barrier. The anxiety they carry is just massive.
Because a single speck of aspergillus mold traveling from your ceiling demolition into their HVAC system can literally cause a fatal infection.
Exactly. Proving that you understand the gravity of that liability is the only way you win their bids.
Which perfectly explains step 2. Start with renovations. Ground-up, billion-dollar builds have incredibly high bonding requirements and barriers to entry.
Very hard to break into cold.
Right. But hospital renovation and expansion projects are much more accessible. Every single hospital in America right now has a massive deferred renovation backlog.
Yeah, everything from upgrading imaging rooms to retrofitting pediatric wings.
And taking on those smaller renovations allows you to build a portfolio of successful ICRA-compliant projects.
Which leads directly to step 3. Partner up. You use that localized renovation experience to get your foot in the door with established healthcare general contractors.
Like Turner.
Like Turner, or whoever the dominant regional healthcare GC is in your specific market. They are taking on these massive mega projects, and they desperately need reliable, qualified subcontractors who won't create infection control liabilities for them.
To be valuable to those GCs, you need step 4. Build unique capabilities. This means investing heavily in clean room preparation, negative air machines, differential pressure monitors, sticky mats for debris control.
Yep, you have to look the part and act the part.
But I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
This sounds incredibly specialized and honestly labor-intensive. If I'm a standard commercial builder doing office park fit-outs, outfitting my crews for HEPA containment feels like a massive, expensive pivot. Why wouldn't I just hunker down, cut my overhead, and wait out the recession in my usual lane?
Well, that exact barrier to entry is what protects your profit margins.
What do you mean?
Think about it. Anyone with a truck and a crew can bid on a standard office fit-out, which drives the price down to the absolute floor in a recession. It's a race to the bottom.
True.
But executing an ICRA-compliant negative pressure renovation next to an active surgical suite, that requires a highly specialized operational muscle.
Oh.
Once you build that muscle, you filter out 90% of your competition.
Oh, I see.
You are no longer competing on price. You are competing on trust and capability.
That makes perfect sense. You're trading a high upfront investment in training for long-term pricing power.
Exactly. And step 5 fortifies that trust. Get safety certified. OSHA 30 is the absolute minimum baseline.
Minimum.
Yeah. Many hospital systems will require specialized additional certifications like AH8 healthcare construction certificates before your boots even touch the dirt.
And step 6 brings it all together. Build relationships. You want to target hospital facility managers, not necessarily the hospital C-suite.
Right. Skip the executives.
Yeah, the facility managers are the ones who actually control the operational renovation budgets. They deal with the daily headaches of failing infrastructure. They are your first, best point of contact.
And just to underline how critical this is, Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report specifically flags this exact sector strategy as the safest survival mechanism available to contractors today.
It's the ultimate pivot. But the strategy is sound, but there is a massive administrative catch to all this specialization.
The paperwork.
The paperwork. If a construction business owner is going to make this pivot into a high compliance sector, they cannot afford to drown in the associated admin. The permitting, the daily ICRA documentation, the specialized RFIs, it's a crushing administrative load.
Trying to manage daily HEPA filter logs and negative pressure differential readings with manual spreadsheets is like, I don't know.
It's like trying to find a specific grain of sand in an hourglass while it's still pouring. It is physically impossible to keep up.
Yeah, your project managers will just burn out.
And it will completely sink your profit margins in administrative overhead before the framing is even finished. It's like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight.
That's a great way to put it. You need an automated system to act as a sieve, something that automatically catches the exact RFI or negative pressure spec you need the moment you ask for it.
So how do you scale that?
Scaling this pivot effectively requires modern AI tooling. Platforms built specifically for construction handle this administrative weight without forcing you to triple your back office headcount.
Which you can't afford to do in a recession anyway.
Exactly. You need smart document organization. These systems automatically tag and categorize permits, RFIs, submittals, daily reports, so your field teams aren't wasting hours digging through nested digital folders while standing on a chaotic job site.
The document intelligence and SERP capabilities are the real game changers here, I think. We're talking about AI that extract vital details from incredibly complex 500-page healthcare specifications.
Nobody wants to read those manually.
No one. It allows your project managers to use natural language searches across all project files. You literally just type into your tablet, what are the HEPA requirements and differential pressure set points for floor 3? And the AI pulls the exact spec instantly.
And you also gain advanced project and risk management. AI performs schedule risk detection to spot material bottlenecks early before they cascade into costly delays.
I'd save so much money.
It does. It generates automated daily log and meeting summaries, and it provides real-time budget variance insights so leadership can see exactly where the cash is moving on a granular level.
But perhaps the biggest lifesaver is the RFI assistance and compliance checking.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine a junior project manager drafting an RFI response. The AI uses historical context and automatically checks the proposed project info against those strict healthcare specs to catch expensive oversights.
Give me an example of that.
So, if a spec calls for a highly specific grade of antimicrobial paint in a sterile corridor, right, and your team accidentally orders standard commercial latex, the AI flags that discrepancy in the planning phase.
Wow.
Because fixing that mistake after the walls are painted would eat your entire project fee. The AI catches it before the purchase order is even sent.
Synthesizing all of this, the core message becomes undeniably clear. When you are navigating a market with 50-50 recession odds, volatile material prices, and a cratering residential sector, diversifying into healthcare, defense, and infrastructure is not just a clever growth strategy.
It is fundamental survival.
Right. These are the sectors that continue to fund, plan, and build straight through the economic downturns.
Absolutely. Now, I want to leave you with a final forward-looking question to mull over. We have established that demographics are driving this massive boom because the baby boomers are turning 80 in 2026.
Right, the silver tsunami.
But what happens to this recession-proof sector in 15 or 20 years when that massive demographic wave inevitably peaks and recedes? Will the construction industry face a sudden, massive oversupply of highly specialized medical infrastructure?
That's a fascinating point.
And if so, how should agile, forward-thinking builders start preparing for that distant horizon today?
Strategic business owners definitely need to be thinking decades ahead, just like the hospital systems they're building for. But, for the immediate term, your action item for this week is clear and actionable.
What's the move?
Call a hospital facility manager in your region. Ask them what deferred renovation projects are currently sitting on their backlog. That single phone call and the specialized relationship it initiates could literally recession-proof your business for the next 3 years.
Incredible advice. To all our listeners, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on your preferred platform. Share this deep dive with your colleagues or anyone in your network who could benefit from this strategy, and be sure to visit smartbusinessautomator.com. Remember, your business is a portfolio. It is time to invest in some treasury bonds. We will catch you on the next one.